What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Let's get straight to the point and talk about some ridiculous Russian propaganda. Okay, today we have the experts in the foreign policy of Russia. And no, it is not the Ministry of Defense of Russia or not Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia. No, these are battle Babushkas. And they are reacting to this most recent event which happened with Trump. They're basically complaining that Mr. Trump, your security services, they did such a poor job, they were not able to protect you, they were not even able to prevent this event from happening in the first place. Take a look at the security services called FSO that Putin has. Have you ever seen anything happen to Putin during his long rule of more than 24 years? Exactly, nothing. They were able to prevent any single even thought about the attack against our president. They are such a professional people, they do everything perfect. They can even predict in advance what is going to happen to Putin. Just yes, Mr. Trump, take a look, hire a couple of guys from FSO and you will be protected until the end of your life. They did not mention, however, that there is a specific person who will be carrying the briefcase to collect the number 2s that Putin does in the toilet. They will not say that there is a person who specifically is literally CEO of Putin's excrements, I guess. That's how this person is gonna call. No, they only presented FSO as an extremely professional organization. But okay, as always, enough of this clownship. Let me give you a brief update from the southern and eastern Ukrainian front lines. First of all, unfortunately, we do not have some good news, because reportedly Ukrainians had to withdraw from Krynky and also had to withdraw from Urozhaine. And the reason for this is because, according to the General Staff of Ukraine, there is literally nothing else left to protect. The city is not just has foundations of buildings at this point, no. There is literally nothing. It is open field, there is nowhere to hide, there is nothing to protect, nothing to defend. Pretty much 99% of civilians already left these both settlements, so Ukrainians took the decision to retreat from both of these cities to save the lives of the Ukrainian soldiers. Then we have a video from Zaporozhye frontline where Ukrainians were able to attack and destroy one of Russian ammunition warehouses, and as soon as fireworks started, it was a chain reaction. Another ammunition warehouse, which was in close proximity to the first one, also caught on fire, and then fireworks started as well, and then pretty much the entire area was engulfed in fire. Then we have a video from the territory of Russia, specifically from Kursk, where reportedly a Ukrainian drone was able to attack a local factory, which was producing low voltage electronic equipment for also including military purposes. And at the same time, another video from Kursk, where Ukrainians also are using drone to destroy a local radio tower, which was broadcasting main federal channels, basically Russian propaganda, in order to try and for the local residents to be a little bit less brainwashed. In Kharkov, right here is the video of also Ukrainian FPV drones destroying the local deployment point of the Z army. And then also from Kharkov is more than 5 minutes of body cam footage of a Ukrainian soldier who are doing some activities in the forest. The video is very intense, so guys, highly recommend you to watch if you want to see it. It is available on my Patreon, full and uncensored version. The link is down below. Next we have a video from Toretsky settlement. A long story short, a single Ukrainian tank was able to find a small Russian unit, then they started retreating, they hid in one of abandoned houses, and well, tank was able to clearly see it, and this house became the eternal monument for these Russian soldiers. In Pivnichny, located in Donetsk region, is yet another body cam footage of Ukrainian soldier pushing the positions of Russians. And in Mariupol, Ukrainians were able to first of all use a drone to find the position of the Russian air defense, which was consisting of S-300 system, and then they were able to perform a successful attack on these Russian air defense positions. We even have the satellite image showing the consequences of this attack. And ultimately, according to the Oryx analysts, a total of at least 100 Russian T-90M Prorыв most modern battle tanks have already been destroyed since the beginning of this war. These are the main combat machines of the Z army at this point. They are supposedly the highest technology possible ever created by humankind. Well, as you can see, 100 of them already been destroyed, and while Russians couldn't do anything about it. But yes, the main point of the last 24 hours is that the betrayal between Russia and Belarus continues. If you remember from my previous video, the president of Belarus, Aleksandr Lukashenko, already did a statement that Belarus is withdrawing its forces from the border between Belarus and Ukraine because they do not want to escalate the situation even further. Well, Russian authorities obviously were very upset with this decision of Aleksandr Lukashenko. Most likely they were arguing, they were pressuring him to return Belarusian forces to their positions. Well, it did not happen. Belarusian soldiers are back in their stationary camps, way further behind the front lines. But recently, Aleksandr Lukashenko made even more statements. Specifically, he said that Ukrainians are not anymore the enemies of Belarus. Ukrainians, according to him, are the very same people as Belarusians, as Russians, and he now wants the peaceful resolution as soon as possible. He knows that it is extremely complicated because Putin does not want to talk. However much Vladimir Putin says that Russia is always open to conversations. For this reason, Aleksandr Lukashenko, he did say that he will do his best to convince Putin during their next meeting to start peace negotiations with Ukraine. Basically, in some way, in one way or another, it is possible to say that Aleksandr Lukashenko is now taking Ukrainian side. Obviously, he is not fully pro-Ukrainian just yet, but these are the very first steps. And almost immediately after that, spontaneously and very suspiciously, a Russian Shahed drone just for no reason crashed inside Gomel, inside one of Belarusian city, which is approximately 55 kilometers away from the border between Ukraine. And yes, this was a Russian Shahed, so yes, they did not even try to say that it was a Ukrainian attack. Which, to be honest, is already the second Russian drone which spontaneously fell on the territory of Belarus only in the last couple of days, which allows us to assume that these are some kind of warning signs from the Russian authorities about most recent actions by Belarus. So this is kind of like, think twice, Aleksandr Lukashenko. If you do something like this in the future, this might not be just the drones which accidentally fall on your territory. And I mean, yes, for now Lukashenko still quote-unquote unconditionally supports Putin, but the statements he is making right now about that he does not want to escalate, he withdraws his forces from the border, and now even saying that Ukrainians are actually good people, this is absolutely totally different from what he used to say just a month ago. And I mean, if you think about it, it kinda makes sense, because the Western support to Ukraine is coming, the presidential elections in America are coming, and so doesn't matter who is going to win, most likely it will affect in one way or another this war in Ukraine. And maybe, just maybe, Putin will not need Lukashenko that much. Aleksandr Lukashenko assumes the possibility of this happening, and obviously Belarus, they want to maintain some sort of whatever is left of their international relations with the rest of the world. And so maybe this is why Lukashenko started to even make statements like this in the first place. Maybe he's kinda trying to a little bit distance himself from Putin. I mean, it was obvious since the beginning that Putin and Lukashenko friendship, it was just friends with benefits, if you know what I mean. And when there are no more benefits to such friendship, eventually it stops. So we might see one of the biggest drama in post-Soviet countries in the near future. But yes, to say the least, tensions race, so it will be very curious to see how the situation will develop itself in the future. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you like this style of daily news updates. If you want to receive these episodes in early access and fully uncensored, you can please check my Patreon, the link is down below. All the other useful links are down below: Instagram, PayPal, and of course merch, hoodies, t-shirts, cases, all of this is down below. Thanks so much for watching, see you tomorrow.
All night long, Russian dude, the Russian dude, he'll drink and dance and never break.